Rick Norman from Weber is a senior. He has a record of 27-10. He took 5th in Evanston, 2nd at the High Country Classic, 2nd in the Region 1 tournament. His opponent, Kalen Wilson from West Jordan, has a record of 35-12 as a junior. He took 6th in state last year, and he took 1st in Region 2. And now Norman's in on an early shot now. Wilson trying to go for the spladle there, trying to score here early in the first round. Norman trying to spladle here. Now he's rocked around the body, comes around and gets us 2. Great move, Mike.
Those high percentage moves, man. 2, 1 right back, we're back on our feet. Here's 2 great programs represented right here. Larry Jaramillo out at West Jordan. It continues the tradition that Tex Casto started of just good, tough, hard-nosed wrestling. Weber's in. Wilson's good single-leg shot. Good counter back by Norman. Now he comes back with his own single, trying to change that off to a double. Wilson's got his hips back. Front 3/4 power. Doesn't back away. Reshot in on a single. Step around by Weber. Double. Got to get a takedown. Not there yet. To the mat. Weber trying to step up. Boom. There it is. Takedown 2. Kalen Wilson from West Jordan. Nice scramble. Nice shot. Nice defense. Both wrestlers. That's an excellent flurry.
Norman goes for the sit out. They're right on the edge of the mat here on center mat tonight. 30 seconds left. They're going to bring him back to the center. Wilson leads by 1. Weber right in the thick of things for the team hunt, so a win here by Norman would be absolutely huge for the team as they are barely trailing Fremont in search for the team title. Kalen Wilson goes right to that knee tap. Norman trying to sit, tries to come out, now goes to the short sit. Wilson with the underhook. Working on some arms there, reaches back. Now he's working on that arm. What he's going to try and do is get the other arm back there and try and turn Norman to his back. He's got the one arm trapped in between their 2 bodies.
Seeing the high school wrestlers work the spiral ride a lot better in the last few years than they did years ago. That comes from the sophistication of what they watch the college guys doing, and basically just keeping the hips in a good position and trying to keep the weight up on the hands of the opponent. Wilson gets choice. He decides to go down. Nice job. Nice stand. Nice short sit. Control of the hands. Comes out, picks up the 4. Both shoot at the same time. Kalen's coming out of it in a better position. We're going to go out of bounds. No takedown.
Kalen Wilson of West Jordan seems to be just a little bit more aggressive here in this finals match. 12 seconds into the second period. We're going to stop. It looks like we may have just a little bit of injury time, maybe some blood time. Again, the wrestler's best interest is our best interest, so want to make sure everybody's okay. So as we've talked about a little bit tonight, this is an interesting time. So one wrestler's getting attended to, getting fixed up. The other one's receiving some counsel from his coach, trying to see what's going to be the better way for them to go. But as it sits right now, Kalen Wilson of West Jordan has a 2-point lead.
New rule this year during injury time, I think this is a blood time, but during injury time, wrestlers can now be coached in both corners. Last year the rule stated that on an injury time you could not receive any coaching, so both wrestlers are talking with their coaches. Jody Warren at Weber does a great job with that program. Jody pretty soft-spoken. He doesn't say too much, but he turns out some good wrestlers and always tough. So the official, Glenn Knight, brings it back to center. We're still on our feet. No takedown. Here we go. Great shot. Weber in on that single leg, lifting the leg high. Excellent job. Right to the double leg, or to the single leg with a high to a 2 takedown. Comes back. That'll be a 2 score back. 6-4, 2 down, 2 back. That's a pretty good flurry right there.
One thing that impresses me is how Kalen Wilson is just, once he's countered upon, he re-counters, and he's really going after it here, really being aggressive. He almost came out too far there and lost control at all because he was so quick, but he was able to get the points and now has the lead again, 6-4.
Well, one of the things you're talking about there, in that, Mark, is that chain wrestling, and coaches work with young wrestlers to get them to the point to do that. One thing happens, that means I do this, and then another thing happens, that means I do that, and so it goes boom, boom, wrestle, wrestle, change, 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 change. So there's that constant chain of wrestling. Young wrestlers will take a move and stop, take a shot and stop. Great wrestlers, it's constant motion. When you watch two great wrestlers, it's like watching a spider on a mirror. Whatever one does, the other can counter. Perfect yin and yang. For every defense, there's an offense. And when you get, the better the wrestlers get and the more evenly they're matched, the greater the wrestling becomes. Great champions require great opponents. And so what you're seeing right here is two guys that are really getting after it. They're only separated by 2 points, which basically amounts to one move.
Mike, for the young wrestlers who are at home, who are watching this, what can you say to them that will help them get to the level that these two wrestlers are at?
Well, first of all, conditioning. I mean, you look at them and they're not even breathing hard, but yet they're really going at it. Second thing is just that ability to know where your weight is and know what you're doing. Now watch this sequence right here. Okay, Norman stands up, controls hands, counters back. Immediately, Wilson is in on a single leg. Now a young wrestler will step back, take a breath, kind of regroup himself, and then come back and attack again. Wilson didn't do that. Now we're in the state championship. We're in the 5A schools, which are the biggest schools. We're wrestling for a state championship. You don't jump back, dance on your toes, and catch your breath. You stay wrestling. You keep wrestling. One move to the next move, to the next move, to the next move. A great match is constant motion. It's more interesting to watch. It requires greater skill to accomplish. And so, in answer to your first question, young wrestlers just need to be active and continue wrestling and not be content to stand back and take one shot and then hang on. So I think a lot of us condition. I got to be in shape to keep doing that. See, now you see Wilson starting to breathe a little bit.
Seems like Norman has a little more potential than he's showing us to us tonight. He's already had 2 real nice moves to score. Hasn't done much other than that. Norman Wilson's done just a great job of riding him. Wilson's scrambling now. Gets the escape, so now we're back to a 1-point match with the score 6-5. Again, they both shoot at the exact same time. Wilson goes for the throw there, but it's going to be out of bounds. They'll bring him back, start him on their feet with 18 seconds left in the second round. Mike, we've got a pretty good match on our hands.
Well, we do, and body types are a little bit different. A lot of times they'll look like the same body out there. Kalen Wilson, pretty big shoulders, probably more powerful in the shoulders, but Norman is long, and I think maybe even stronger. That's a great job on a single leg, lifting that high, taking it to the mat for the 2, and then they come back out of bounds. Did he score the 2? Because if he scored the 2, nope, no change out of bounds. So yes, 2 takedown, 7-6. We got 6 seconds left in the second round, and now we're ahead. Now Norman's picked it up, and he's on top. 5, 4, here we go. This is what great wrestlers do. They score with 3 seconds. Doesn't happen. 7-6. We're going into the third round, and boy, that changed right around. Now Rick Norman from Weber is going into the third round with the lead, and he was down 6-7 seconds ago. He was behind.
So he chooses the down position. He's going to try and add to that lead that he has right now. Got to be a great boost of confidence to somebody to go into the last 2 minutes of the match having the lead, knowing you've made it this far. All you have to do is just hold on or try and add to that lead.
Well, there's a lot of time for wrestling. 2 minutes is a long time, especially guys as skilled as this. These are a senior. Weber is a senior, and Rick Norman's a senior, and Kalen's a junior. There's plenty of time to make something happen. If there's an advantage right now, it's probably in the hands of Norman, because, there he's going to get his 1 point. So now he's up 2. When you're in that under position, oh my gosh, Wilson steps into a bad position. Norman counters back, gets him into a head and arm. Oh my gosh, head and arm, puts him into the 2 for the takedown. Because he was bleeding, the rule says that we stop the action, but because the near fall was imminent, he picks up the 2 points. So even though his nose started bleeding again, he still picks up 4 on that flurry, but you can't lay on top of a guy and bleed in his ear. So Glenn Knight does a nice job stopping the match appropriately, marking the blood time as he should, and scoring the points as they are. So what a quick turn of events as we close that second round. Kalen Wilson had a 1-point lead. Now here we are, 34 seconds later, and he's down 6 points.
Yeah, just a tremendous job by Rick Norman there to capitalize on what seemed to be something that was rushed for Kalen Wilson. He seemed like he gave up the escape to try and get on his feet. That only put him down 2. And it seemed like he rushed into the shot a little bit, put him on his back. Now he's got a 6-point deficit. Mike, like you said, though, there's still a minute 24 seconds left in this thing. Anything can happen for Kalen Wilson, who's been real aggressive and real smart in this match so far.
Well, another thing takes a place here. With that blood time, they both had a chance to kind of get their win. And so now we control Kalen to make something happen. He's got to get out from underneath that. Time's clicking down. We're coming up on that 1:10 mark. He's got to get out from underneath there and make something go. Norman can sit there and keep that leg in. If he comes off sufficiently and is increasing his position to get a turn, so he's eating up the clock and keeping Wilson in a tough spot. Now he's got to keep working the turn. If he doesn't improve it, they're going to stop it. The first thing they'll look for is a stalemate situation, so they'll hit that. If Norman throws those legs in again and doesn't attempt to turn or is not able to turn, then in the referee's judgment, he might be stalling. Well, now here's a break. Wilson got out, so now he's on his feet. Boom! Here we go. Head and arm. Oh my gosh! Nope. Wilson rolls through. Oh my goodness. He was in a great position to score the 5 he needed. Now he's got to reach for that. He's trying to reach in. Now it's desperation time. Can he get the spladle? He does not. Norman reaches in, does a great job readjusting. 2 points takedown. 14-7. What a turn. What a turn of events. Wilson was out, was in the position that he wanted to be, had a head and arm, was taking him to his back, and Norman did a great job of changing his weight, readjusting to that, and taking that near fall criteria away from Wilson. Wilson's now in a desperation situation. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that's it. Rick Norman, great come from behind. Way to be down at the end